Hey everybody, it's my birthday, and what do I say about my birthday? It's my 64th birthday, and I was just on a run, which is interesting because I never liked running, and now that I just started running the last few days. It's not really a great run. It's more of a run walk with some kind of prancing in between, and so I'm really curious about that. Running to me was always boring, and maybe it's just as I'm inside all the time and I'm feeling like I just want to move. I see this is in honor of, it seems to be all the rage these days to cover your, it's kind of a fashion thing to cover your nose and mouth. So this is a buff. This is a fly fisherman's buff. I drug it out of my fly fishing equipment. And so now I look like this. But since you guys are 6 feet away. So it was just, as I was running, I was reflecting on this year. And I remembered that Brian had asked me, I was telling Brian in an interview about my 63rd year. And I said, rather extemporaneously, that my 63rd year was my best year. And he asked me what I thought this next year would be. And I've been reflecting on that, and I think that my life is getting better. And I feel a little funny saying that out loud because it feels kind of prideful to say shit like that. But, you know, that's how I feel. And I was thinking about all of my guys who are 40 and above and 30 and above. And God, I just want you guys to feel your life expand. As I've been thinking about my life over the last few years, 2 or 3 years of coaching, that how incredibly blessed I am to have men who are all facing forward in their lives. Some of us, we get caught up with looking backwards and say, oh, if I hadn't been brought up this way, or if I had known better, or if I knew then what I knew now. And I get it, and that happens. But I really want you guys to look forward, that whatever you're experiencing in your life right now is just where you are right now. And I remember it was Dave Stoltz who told me, I was asking him about some problem I was having a few years ago, and he just said, it's really hard to move forward while you're looking backwards. So I just want you guys to feel what you're feeling and know that when you're making the choice to feel that, when you're making the choice to take action, whenever you're making the choice to realize that the stories in your heads are just made of vapor, that instead of looking backwards, you can look forward, to acknowledge where you are and look forward. I didn't really know where this was going. All right, I was thinking about how grateful I am for this community, for the coaches I work with, for my huge yoga community who are sidelined right now over the last few weeks, but I love them all. I was thinking about the guys that I play soccer with that, over the years that they've been great comrades. I was thinking about my fly fishing buddies. And one of these days I'm going to do a video about fly fishing. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. My crazy family. I was thinking how much I loved my dad. My dad was one of these, he just loved nature, he loved the outdoors, he loved riding his horse back into the woods, and he'd always, this is very much my father, he would look at a tree and stand there with his hands on his hips and go, "Look at that, Sammy. That's just marvelous. Must be hundreds of years old. Just marvelous." So that's my pocket impersonation of my father. He was pretty great. And I'm grateful for everything that's happened in my life. It's created a really interesting, varied, adventurous, heartbroken, insane, very, very, very low lows, and very high highs. And there's a friend of mine who's a Taoist. We were talking about happiness, and he said he didn't believe in happiness. He said he believes in contentment. And my Western brain at first thought, what is that? There's no way to be. You can't just be content, because the Western brain thinks contentment, it means that we are settling, that we are compromising. But as we talked, he described that you can live a low, if you have a very low low, you are going to eventually have a very high high, and you're going to have a very low low. And so it's this swinging back and forth is very Western. To his idea of happiness is contentment, which is riding a plane of ease and acceptance. And it's really true, because I know in my life when I've had these high highs, when you're on drugs, I'm not talking about times when I took drugs, which I did take, my share of drugs. But when you're on drugs and you are flying, snorting cocaine, not that I've ever, of course I've snorted cocaine, and that high is going to come back down to a very low low. And that's how we saw his life, that he was trying to keep things even keeled. But even if you don't keep things, even if you have a very high high, expect a low low. It'll just happen. And understand when you're in that low space, you're going to come back up to the median line. I think that's right. I'm grateful for my health. The longer I live, the more I realize that what I eat, how much exercise I get, the supplements that I take, have far less to do with my health than my mindset and my relationship with my emotions, where I can feel everything. I'm usually feeling less well when I'm emotionally stuck. And even if I'm feeling sad or if I'm feeling angry, if I can feel it all through my body, then that feels like health. As far as this COVID-19, a friend of mine calls it Coco. He's given it a nickname. I really like that. With Coco, do I think I'm going to eventually get the coronavirus? I imagine it's incredibly possible. Do I think I'm going to get sick? I'm probably going to feel not well. Am I going to die from COVID-19? I guess it's possible. But as I walk around, I don't feel like that's going to happen. I might be living in a fool's paradise, but I'd rather live this way than live in fear and in contraction. I talked about it in another video. Love and health and happiness or contentment is expansion. Every choice I make, I prefer to have that an expanding choice than something that feels contracting, self-limiting, believing in things that I didn't invent. Actually, that's a really big, I never thought about that. If I didn't invent it, I choose not to believe in it. I mean, someone challenged me the other day and said, well, what about gravity? And I say, okay, well, gravity, there's a law of gravity, but what if I choose not to believe in gravity? What if I choose not to believe in gravity? That's how I'm feeling. That's how I choose to live in the world. By the way, I read something about gravity the other day. We think that gravity is the Earth's pull on us, but because we have mass, we have gravitational pull on the Earth. That kind of blew my mind, that I'm pulling the Earth towards me while the Earth is pulling me towards it. I have no idea where that thought's going, but I thought it was pretty cool that I have power over the planet Earth. Another thing about gravity I learned, that the gravitational pull, we think of it in terms of mass, but it's actually in terms of light. Light itself will warp around mass. And if light bends around mass, that means time has to bend around mass too, which means the fact that it's just mathematical proof that time is flexible. So, Oh, hi everybody. There's people on the street. I think it's pretty cool that time is not linear. So what else? I'm grateful for my friends from different communities. I'm really grateful for my family. I'm really grateful to have the dad that I did. Rest in peace. Hi Pete, he's up there. I'm really grateful. I'm grateful for, I had a bunch of careers, and now I have this one, which is whatever coaching is. And that feels for the first time that I'm really aligned with who I am and what I do. I'm incredibly grateful for that. And I'm grateful for everybody who's listening to this and hung around to the end. Anyway, thank you for the birthday wishes. Happy birthday to me. It feels really good. I really don't know what to say. So, thanks.